Do you need a knife? I needed a knife. I had oh my goodness, a very old lock blade knife, and it broke on me. Well, it didn't really break, but a piece fell out so that the blade would just flop back and forth on me, and I needed a new knife. Now, what does this have to do with art? Well, maybe nothing, but I did carve all of these with a pocket knife, so maybe eventually I'll use this new knife for carving, so let's just go with that. But at any rate, I just needed something, and I thought, well, I'll get it. We'll do a review on it in case any of you were looking for the same thing. I ordered the Ozark Trail lock blade knife, and it's gotten really, I mean, kind of rave reviews because supposedly it's really, really good and really, really cheap. Now, as you can see, this is the package it came in. It's from Walmart, and it costs 10 bucks. So throughout this whole thing, if you see anything that's like, that seems like a little bit of a cut corner or whatever, again, it costs $10. So it came last night. They shipped it in 2 days, so it came very fast. And it came just wrapped in this Walmart bag, and they dropped it off on our front porch. So I will unwrap it, and I will unwrap it. And here we go. 7.5-inch Ozark Trail outdoor equipment, Ozark Trail knife. You know, as far as the packaging goes, it looks pretty good. It says injection handle, which means it's plastic. D2 high carbon steel blade, which the guys who really know knives are raving about this, that they can't believe a D2 high carbon steel blade is on a $10 knife. I don't know a lot about that. I did a little bit of research, and it got into all sorts of chemical compounds and stuff, and just basically, as I understand, that's some pretty high-end steel. It's really well-made steel that's supposed to hold an edge longer and I guess get really sharp and keep that sharpness for a long time. So, yeah, there you go. On the back, it says it's 3.5 inches. That would be the handle, or the handle is 4.25 inches, and the blade, I guess, is 3.25 inches, so that it's all in all 7.5-inch knife. So it's a good size. Now, opening it up. There we go. I'll just pull this off. They got a little plastic cover for the tip, and well, you got to be careful. Just touching it with my thumb, yeah, it feels sharp. Now this is a lock blade, which I really enjoyed having. So it's got this button here that's supposed to be what releases, and okay, you pull, releases where the blade will go back and forth. I thought you pushed it, but you actually pull this thing back. And there you go. Be careful though. You don't want to have your fingers down here. That would hurt. But yeah, if you hold this lever back, you can just flip the blade back. Oh, and it clicks in. So you can watch that thing go back and forth. Yeah. All right. The nice thing about that is it doesn't even have a slot for it, but I know I have some folding knives that, you know, you try to go in and get the blade open, and it can be really difficult. And especially women tend to have, well, they've got more brittle bones, and their fingernails are not nearly as strong as men's. As a matter of fact, I actually had a cousin that her fingernails would get a little long, and she could actually fold her fingernails back. It was creepy, but you know, that's, well, women just don't have as much calcium in their bones as I understand it. And so that can be really nice. So you can see right there, you know, for them not having to dig and try to open. But you can see right here, that's releasing and letting the blade go. Okay, you got to put a little bit of a flick of a wrist in there. The only reason that that let go was I was still holding it back. So hold it back. I guess there's a bit of a trick to it, but once that's up there, it's not going back and forth. Yeah, it's really in there, so that seems to be good. I don't pretend to be an expert on pocket knives or any other kind of knives. Like I said, you know, I use carving knives, and I actually use just a really inexpensive, small carving two-bladed pocket knife to carve these little toys for my granddaughters. So, you know, you can do a lot with a lot of different seemingly humble tools. The handle, fortunately, I'm really more left-handed than anything else, so I would be holding it more like this. I will say it's got a clip here, and pretty strong, so if you want to clip it on your pants when you're putting it in your pocket, that should do fine. I don't care to do that. I don't mind it being in my pocket. But the plastic handle, it's got a bit of a grip to it, but you know, it feels a little cheap. I mean, well, I'm sure it'll probably hold up real well, but it just doesn't have that same feel that a more expensive handle would have. But that's okay. For those of you who don't know, and I learned this, I didn't know this. Of course, these are the screws that are also helping to keep these two different pieces together. But this piece right here, this screw right here, if your blade is ever wobbly, you can tighten that up a little bit, and that will make it sturdy. But it's nice, and I mean, I'm able to move it, but it's not really wiggling or anything. So I think we're real good. And forgive me, I think. Oh, I'm moving the table. I was thinking my camera was moving. Okay. So overall, the feel of it, it's not bad. Not bad. You know, if you're used to a higher end knife, then it would be not as nice. But you know, you're talking about, for me, I don't care. I just want a good utility knife, and for $10, it certainly seems to be that. Oh, and one thing that I did like about this, now, yes, this orange is, you know, kind of gaudy, but for me, it's not a fashion statement. This would be a knife that I would just carry around and use either in the studio or out when I'm working, doing anything else. And if you're like me and you've ever dropped your knife or had it fall out of your pocket or whatever, finding a dark or a black knife in the grass or wherever, it's a nightmare. Whereas this thing, you're less likely to lose this than you are anything else. It'd be very visible. And to me, that's actually a big positive. So, okay, well, let me turn around here and get a piece of paper, and let's do the old paper cut test. Wow, okay. Wow, yeah. I mean, it does cut paper really, really well. Wow. Okay. Whoa, whoa. That is really nice and sharp. I love that. Okay, I just picked up, this is a piece of junk wood that I've got that a lot of times if I'm, well, doing anything that I might need a piece of junk wood for, I'll pull it out. Let's see how it, oh wow. That's cutting really, really well. Yeah, as far as the sharpness goes, it is a really sharp, sharp knife. Now, this is brand new. I haven't had it for very long, so I can't tell you how long it's going to continue to use its or retain its edge. We'll just have to see. I'll do another video down the road. If I use it and it just gets dull real quick and is hard to sharpen back up, then I'll do another video to let you know. But I'm not going to go into it real deeply, but if you are going to try to keep your knives sharp and do it properly, I would go and order from Flex Cut Carving Tools this slip strop. Again, I won't go into it real deep, but with this thing, the trick on keeping a knife really sharp is if you use it and it starts to get a little bit dull, don't get your sandpaper or your sanding stone or sharpening stone. Don't do any of that stuff because you're probably overdoing and you can lose that lovely bevel that the manufacturer has made. Think of sharpening a knife as being like sanding a piece of wood. You want to use the least aggressive sandpaper that you can. You don't want to just jump in immediately with 80 grit sandpaper. You want to use 100, 200, 400, whatever is the least abrasive that you can to sand out scratches and nicks in your wood. And by the same token, your knife should come with a really nice bevel and a really good edge. But if the edge isn't quite there, you can get a strop like this. I mean, I have taken an old belt and cut it, and on the suede side, put a little bit of whatever this pumice type stuff is. I can't remember what it's called, but that's actually a grit. And then I've sharpened up my knife. Now, there's a technique to it, and we won't get into it, but you know, if you use your knife and it starts feeling a little bit dull, you could come in and do just a few dozen strokes like this and hone that edge. That's the thing. You're wanting to hone it, not sharpen it. And you can probably wind up keeping your knife nice and sharp and useful for a very, very long time. But you know, as far as a quick little test to see, this knife is really, really good. And I, for $10, I definitely recommend it. Yeah, don't hold that part against me. I've never done this flicking motion, so I'm not used to it. But yeah, this is going to be a great little thing. I would absolutely encourage you, if you need a lock blade knife, to get one of these. And if your lock blade, if it does get the least bit loose or something, and that blade wants to flop, get rid of it because it'll open up. That's what mine actually did. As I was pulling it out of my pocket, the blade popped open and nearly cut me. So yeah, as soon as your pen or whatever the system it's using, as soon as that thing fails, just throw the knife away. It's not worth getting yourself cut. So if you like my content, think about subscribing. I'd appreciate a like. And thanks for watching. I'm Bill Wilson, and I'm the arthropologist.